Okay, so third step in this equation here, which is owning the failure. The third step in this equation is what did you learn? What did you learn? If you know what happened, if you know why it happened, but you didn't learn anything about yourself, you didn't come up with a response, you didn't come up with a plan, you didn't come up with any further knowledge of yourself or the world you live in, then I'm not saying you failed, but you're not going to get the most out of it. If you're truly trying to get as much as you can out of your situations, if you're truly trying to move towards the realm of self mastery and the realm of wholeness and completeness, you've got to learn from your failures. You have to learn from your failures. And I'm telling you because I used to view failure as a very black and white, full stop perspective. It's, I failed. I shouldn't have failed. I'm bad. Why did I bother? Instead of, I put myself out there. I did fall down. I got myself back up. And I've actually learned why I fell down so that I don't fall down next time. Those are two different things. Those are two entirely different things. One perspective is, why did I bother? Why did I try? I'm clearly a bad person. I'm probably a stupid person. I probably don't deserve success or happiness. That's one perspective. A second perspective is, I I gave it a spin. I took a stab at it. It didn't turn out the way I wanted to, but I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about the world I live in, and I'm more prepared. I'm more equipped for the next time. So, if we've got to boil this whole four step into anything, it's like this: when you fail and you learn from it, you are preparing yourself. You are equipping yourself. You are enabling yourself. You are empowering yourself for the next time, for the next attempt, for the next conversation, for the next spin, for the next effort, for the next try. Okay? That's the whole reason we're going through this process, is so that the next time you do it, you're more prepared. The next time you do it, you're more equipped. The next time you do it, you're more empowered. Because when you embark on any sort of activity, whether it's, cooking your dinner, cleaning your house, hitting your deadlines, you want to be as successful and efficient as possible. And the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about the world, the more you learn about the process, the more knowledge, the more context, the more background you'll have the next time you do it. So if you say, well, I'm trying to win the NBA championship, okay. And you say, well, we ran 10 plays in a row and none of them worked. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to go to practice. We're going to figure out why them 10 didn't work, and we're going to see if we can come up with a better 10. So you scratched off those off the list. Now you're better equipped. Now you're more prepared. Sometimes progress looks like just simply removing what doesn't work. Okay? And I think we really need to get that clear. Progress isn't always just about winning in victories. Progress is about removing what doesn't work, what doesn't need to be there, what's holding you back. If you can buff out all your edges, if you can chip away at all the chaff within yourself. Those are huge victories, okay? Sometimes the best victory comes from removing what doesn't work or removing a portion of yourself that no longer serves a purpose. Yes, that victim mentality might have served a purpose when you felt powerless. You don't feel powerless anymore. You need to get rid of it. Yes, crying can help. After a while, you got to dry your tears and get back up and try. So, the reason you're doing this whole situation is so that you're more equipped, you're more prepared for the next attempt, whether it's a conversation or an action or a goal, whatever the case may be. You're doing all this so that you're more equipped, you're more ready. And more importantly than that, progress can simply look like removing what doesn't work. If you get a list of 10 options and you've crossed off 4 of them because you know they don't work, you are that much closer to victory. So part of the way I train people, not in this context, but in my professional context, is I tell them like this. I'm like, guys, you might have 5 options in front of you. You need to find the reasons to start scratching them off the list. Because if you've got 5 options in front of you and you've been able to scratch off 3, now you're down to 2. You are that much closer to the truth. You are that much closer to the solution. You are that much closer to the resolution. Scratching things off the list is movement in the right direction. I assure you. I am telling you right now, if you don't want to believe anything else I've told you this far, believe this. Scratching things off the list, removing things that don't work, removing things about yourself that don't work is absolutely movement in the right direction. Finding out what doesn't work and throwing it out is absolutely a victory. It is absolutely progress. Because if you say, I'm trying to cook dinner, and you did it a certain way and you're saying, I ain't using that oil again, you are now that much closer to a successful dinner. If you're saying, I'm trying to hit this deadline, and I had this music playing and it was distracting me, I ain't doing that again, you're that much closer to hitting that deadline. Sometimes the path to victory involves finding what doesn't work. Because if you've removed everything that doesn't work, you are left with what does work. Now, with that being said, yes, you can always find new things to improve. You can always find new things to remove. But if you say, I'm trying to walk, if you say, I'm trying to get this paper done, and you had 10 strategies, and you've decided that 8 of them don't work because you know they don't work, and now you're left with 2 strategies. One of them's bound to work. You might have to come up with a whole other strategy. You know what? You came up with 10 at the first. That's cool. Turns out all 10 were wrong. Go back to the drawing board. I'm going to tell you that right now. Go back to the drawing board. If you've removed every single possibility, if you've walked through every single root cause and it's still not working, you need to find more root causes. So like I said, removing obstacles, removing barriers, removing things that don't need to be there is absolutely movement in the right direction. It is absolutely progress. Because when you've eliminated all the other possibilities, you're only left with the correct option. You're only left with the solution. Now, that doesn't mean that solution is going to work every single time from now in perpetuity. This is a very dynamic experience we are all experiencing together. Okay? Our bodies and our minds are constantly in flux, as is this world. So don't assume that it's a one and done. But if you've eliminated what doesn't work, you are left with what does work. So you have to figure out what you're going to learn about it. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the process? What did you learn about the world? What did you learn about the people around you? You have to learn from your root causes. If you can learn from your root causes, then you're on the path towards resolutions. You're on the path towards peace. You're on the path towards understanding. You're on the path towards feeling good about yourself and your time on this planet. So, like I said, step 3, you got to learn from your situations. You got to learn from the failures. You got to learn from the root causes. Alrighty, I will see you for the next lesson.